Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Arborea. Welcome to 2025, and it is time, once again, for Talk O Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article, read it, talk about it, primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if necessary. Now, this is our first one getting into 2025, and I'm offended. I'm deeply offended, deeply hurt, because Frontier has apparently chosen my beloved Empire to slander their name, or at least that's what I've already prejudged about this article. I actually haven't read it, so I just know that it's like negative toward the Empire, so I'm already mad. Let's jump ahead and see what's going on. So the context of this article, from what I can tell, deals with the aftermath of the Battle of Saul. The last time that I did a Taco Tuesday, we had talked about the destruction of the rescue megaships back in 2024 during the invasion of Saul. As you know, we banded together and we managed to destroy the Titan Kusiho. So it is no more. It's a giant, smoldering, caustic wreck in Earth orbit. So if you want to go visit it, it'll probably make a nice museum piece at some point down the road. But with that has come some of the familiar rumblings. And so one of the things that humanity has always done is war and not learning from war in terms of our, how we should learn to get along and not bicker and squabble amongst ourselves. But here we are in 3311, and we're still doing this stuff. So that is what we're going to get into today, and I'll talk a little bit more about it as we go. We've got the Imperial agents of chaos. So, it says Imperial agents have been charged when attempting to seize political influence deep in federal territory following the Battle of Saul. Now, that line right there is just really insane. The Battle of Saul was fought by everybody. This was not a Federation effort. This was Federation territory. But the Pilots Federation, which is separate from the Federation, there's too many federations around here, gave everybody access to the systems. So it's not like the Empire moved in illegally. We were there with everybody else helping out. So it kind of stands to reason that some people who maybe had a bad taste in their mouth about the Empire would look at it and go, oh, hey, you know what? These guys kind of helped liberate us from the giant alien insects. Maybe they're, not so bad. Let's see what happens. With the aftermath of the Thargoid invasion still causing upheaval across populated space, there has been a marked effort by many factions to establish themselves in systems impacted by Titan Kusiho's assault in December. Again, this is such standard human behavior. It really is. Because now you've got these systems that are weakened. They've lost so many people. The stations are not exactly as they used to be. I mean, the political landscape has changed in these systems around Saul. And so, yeah, it makes sense that people would try to gain some kind of a political, military, social, any kind of a tactical or strategic advantage, any kind of an advantage in those systems. We're going to read a little more. I've got some thoughts about that because I can see kind of both ways or both sides of the argument. Sophia Trevino wrote a summary for the Federal Times. Oh, here we go. Federal propaganda at its best. In recent weeks, there has been a turmoil in Saul as political, corporate, and military interests come to terms with the impact of the Titan Kusiho's arrival, not to mention the civilian cost, with billions of refugees still displaced in surrounding systems. But an unexpected element has emerged, with ports and outposts reporting a significant increase in positive Imperial sentiment. Positive Imperial sentiment, huh? There's nothing wrong with being positive about the Empire. I'm positive about that. This has been tied to Princess Aisling Duval. I almost called her Aisling again. I used to do that. Aisling Duval, in particular, currently enjoying a good reputation among non-imperial populations due to her work as a delegate to Aegis and a champion of humanitarian causes for those impacted by the Xeno War. Now, I have to make a legit public apology to Aisling Duval. I didn't think that she had it to be able to carry on with Aegis and some of the stuff that she was doing in terms of the war support effort, but my God, they really came through. They did. I'm still not a fan, but I got to give credit where credit is due. And you can clip this or save it and put it in your archive or whatever. Yes, I said something positive about the princess. That's it. Let's just move on, okay? We don't want to talk about this ever again. But yeah, and this is just a side effect of the natural political movements in space, in the galaxy. And those systems are weak at this point. There's refugees everywhere. Things need to be done. And, humanity comes together when it needs to get things done, and we did. With Titan Kosiho, that was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. The thing that would be comparable to it would be the Tyrannus attack, but the number of commanders, I think it was like 20,000 commanders, logged in, attacking Kosiho, and bringing the fight to Earth orbit. And so, that's cool, and I think that that's important, but we're still kind of tribal at our core. And, evolution of behavior takes a very, very long time to do. But even with that, there are certain aspects of humanity that tend to never really change. And the whole tribalism and the me, and my way is better, and my way is right, and I know what's right, and if you argue with me, you're an idiot. And all these kind of ways that we tend to behave, the stuff never goes away, and it's never going to go away. It's just something we have to learn to live with. And so, it's important to recognize that when we get moments like Kosiho, where humanity bands together, we are capable of such great things when we put our minds to it. But there are very few moments in our history where we're able to put all of our minds together toward a great goal like that. It's very difficult to maintain that kind of energy and that kind of momentum. And so, you have Kosiho, it's done. What do we do now? Well, we're quote-unquote rebuilding. Well, who gets to rebuild, and who gets to say how things are rebuilt? And yeah, it's Federation territory, but what if the people there don't want the Federation anymore? What if they want the Empire? What if they want the Alliance? Don't the people have the right to make those kind of decisions? And, it's just one of those things where it's unfortunate, and I've seen it in studying history, and we've seen it in multiple instances in recent years where we've had humanity come together to do great things, and then what happens afterwards? We turn around and we go right back to the exact same thing we were doing before. The same siloed tribalism where my way is better, and that's it. You're an idiot because you don't listen to my way. And we're back to that. So that's what we're going to, that's kind of, I think, the way going forward. So I will probably not be giving many praise humanity and great job speeches because ultimately the threat was neutralized. And, there's an element of the war effort that is still going on, but in my opinion, it's more poking a bee's nest than anything. So, be careful what you ask for. In this case, with this stuff, I don't think that it's really a big deal. I'm not seeing that. I don't think Imperial sleeper agents are moving around to the outposts and saying, hey, you know what? You really want Aisling Duval, and you really want everybody else that's involved with the Empire. You want the Empire here. That's what you want. I'm not sure I'd be like wrong with that, though. I think I'd be okay with that because I'm kind of an Imperial guy myself. So, yeah, it is what it is. It's part of the dynamics of politics and social movement. Do I think it's subversive and a little bit chaotic? Yes, but that's okay. That's kind of how things go. Shadow President Jerome Archer has stamped down on this flourishing popularity and was described as outraged by the notion of Imperial influence in the heart of the Federation. Well, he should be. He should be. That is... On the surface, so let's stop for a minute. On the surface, it can seem kind of petty. Why would the Federation be so upset if there's Imperial influence in their star systems? The Empire and the Federation have really, really nasty history, okay? The Empire and the Federation have bloodshed between the two of them. Some deep-seated mistrust and outright hatred in some ways. So, for the Empire to come in and people to not trust the Federation, it's truly insulting. Because the Empire, you could probably say, and I may be wrong with this, but it's kind of a thought, that the Federation's greatest enemy has been the Empire of Achenar throughout the last, few decades or so. So yeah, there's some blood there, and when I say bad blood, I mean bloodshed. So it kind of makes sense if you read it and you're not really sure of the context of it. It kind of makes sense if you know a little bit more. There's some bad blood between these two. I might do a video one day talking about kind of the history between these two and go over some of the history of the Empire and how it was formed and some of the things that happened to why it enjoys kind of the freedom and power that it has now at the expense of the Federation. So I may talk about that later. Republican media outlets, counteragents, and even the Proactive Detection Bureau were deployed to quell the initial unrest. Hey, wait a minute. I thought they were going to dismantle that. Didn't Winter say, as part of her campaign, that she was going to dismantle the PDB? El Presidente, he was going to add to the PDB. Like, he was going to make that, like, every household was going to have its own PDB agent sleeping in a guest bedroom. I mean, it was going to be awesome, but I thought she was going to get rid of this. Campaign promises, man. That's exactly what they are. They're promises, and that's it. Promises that are often not kept by either side in any political race. Princess Aisling has denied any involvement in the growth of Imperial support, but did imply that federal populations should not be spurned for the consideration of new ideas. My God, she's right again. This is the worst video I've ever made. Having to praise Princess Aisling twice? Oh, I might as well just give up. So, she's right. I mean, I get it. There's bad blood between them, but the people of the Federation should at least be given an opportunity to hear what the Empire has to say and possibly, take on what we're offering. I don't know. It has been noted that a core of Aisling supporters remain active in Bernard's star, which no doubt concerns the federal government. I'm sure it does. But the problem now you have is, in a way, and oh God, I'm going to say it again, Aisling Duval, in a way, is a war hero at this point. She has demonstrated an ability to lead an organization on behalf of the Empire to glorious combat victory on an unprecedented scale. I can just keep blowing it up. But she's kind of a war hero at this. And so what you have is you have a delicate situation where you've got Imperial war heroes, people that contributed to the conflict directly and indirectly, people that have solidified the continuation of the human race, that are not Federation. They're Imperial. They're in Federation space now. What do you do with them? Well, you can't exactly kick them out because you run the risk of isolating the people that support them. Because if the Federation just comes in and says, okay, that's it, out, you're out. Bernard Starr, get your people and get out. You can't do that because now you have a very precarious social and political situation where you've got people that are supporting the Empire. And if you go in and just wipe them out, you're going to create dissent. You're going to cause problems. You're going to create unrest. And the Federation cannot afford that at the moment. Their infrastructure is so damaged that they have to focus on rebuilding physical infrastructure, support infrastructure. The rescue ships are going to have to be rebuilt, and you're going to need to find a way to reassure people You've got social reconstruction that needs to be done, ways to show people that you are capable of defending their homes from alien invasion again. Because the Thargoids are not gone. They're not gone. That's why I chose the background I have today with the Revenants. They're not gone. They're just pushed back. And so all it's going to take is another salvation, or say a bunch of commanders that want to go to a certain star system and start poking around to start it all over again. Because I don't think that I think the outright conflict is done, but that doesn't mean that we won't see these things pop up here and there. And I think they're like locusts. No matter how much we try to exterminate them, they come back. So, yeah, you got to be very careful about who you're isolating in the name of your political desires when it comes to this kind of stuff. Imperial agents of chaos, they are not. Hey, everybody, these are the Disciples. If you would like to support my work on this channel and on my alternate channel and the other stuff I do, you can go to commanderexorcist.tv/support. Yes, I have a new website, and pledge your support today. And every little bit helps. You get early access to playthroughs, special videos that don't make it on this channel or don't make it on the public side, and then monthly vlogs where I talk about kind of the stuff that I'm doing. So it is great to be back at it. Great to be back doing Taco Tuesday and to see Galnet roaring once again. And this is a year of rebuilding. After the war, we're going to be expanding out. There's colonization coming. And so I cannot wait to see what comes of the year ahead. It's going to be exciting. And I hope that you'll join me again for these continued Taco Tuesdays coming out whenever a Galnet comes out, or if I come up with something creative to share with you. Hey, everybody, I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.